One day, in 1918, there was a man named Henry Tandy. Henry Tandy was propped up at the edge of his trench later in the day after a long days of work. Henry Tandy was staring down the German line, and slowly he thought he could see something, a figure, appearing, coming his way from the German side. However, he wasn't quite sure. Now, regardless, he was still propped up, and he did still have his gun, staring down the figure, but holding his fire until he was 100% sure what he was seeing was truly there. Now, the shadow continued to slowly get bigger, but Private Tandy realized what he was looking at was indeed a German soldier. However, it was a severely injured German soldier, and he happened to be unarmed. Now, Private Tandy had been in war and had shot at many men without a second thought before. Despite this, he just stared at the soldier, and when the soldier realized where he was walking and saw Tandy, they found themselves kind of just standing there and staring at each other. The German soldier just turned away and walked on his way, and Private Tandy just held his fire and let him walk back. Now, Tandy had spared people in the past. He has claimed that he has spared people before, so this wasn't anything new, but he also has shot at people without thinking. Now, the man that Private Tandy had in his sights was the eventual Chancellor of Germany, a man who took many, many lives. Henry Tandy had Adolf Hitler in his sights, but he held fire and decided not to shoot. Now, this was all discovered in 1938 when the British Prime Minister was visiting Germany in hopes to secure a peace pact between the two countries. They were at the Bavarian Museum when the German leader's attention was drew to a war painting. He paused to look at it. He pointed out the man to the British Prime Minister, telling him that something that changed the current world we live in. The man he pointed at was a private named Henry Tandy. He then told the British Prime Minister how this private had spared his life at war, and how he for sure thought he was going to die. Now, for how this would have changed the world as we know it today, starting with the obvious, World War II. World War II kicked off with Nazi Germany's invasion of Poland. September 1st, 1939, German troops crossed the border, in turn caused Great Britain and France to declare war on Germany, as they said they would defend Poland. The war lasting until 1945, a 6-year war that claimed the lives of roughly 70 to 85 million people. Now, doing that math, that's about 32,000 people a day, every day, for 6 years. Other things that would have changed, it also would have changed the things World War II caused, such as how the United States now holds such global power. Although there were many countries on the winning side, if you may refer to it as such, the US came out rather unscathed compared to their European allies. Another thing is it also acted as a huge important part of the decolonization. Although not the only cause, it was one of the biggest ones. One of the more positive results was the United Nations in hopes to stop future wars, and although there have been some scares and threats, we haven't seen a major war since then.